Prison from the Inside Out. Available now on Amazon.
So prison is full of people at every opportunity willing to get in your way so you can make a decision where you can actually make your escape even smaller, and you continue to isolate yourself from the world. And you think that because you're you and the world is the world, that they have a problem with you. And that does happen. We live in a crazy, ugly world with a lot of crazy people that do a lot of things. But we can either add to it, or we could be smarter than everybody else and say, here, man, I'll just see it when you get done.
Let me ask you, through all this, right? I met you and you're not that person. You're not the person that wants to help you. I know that you experience helping.
Exactly.
But you're not. How did you keep that? How did you stay strong? That sense of that I'm sure so many other people lose.
Yeah, I had a lot of opportunity to not be the person that I am, but my hope into not wanting to be bitter, not wanting to be mean, and wanting to be healthy. I see so many bitter, angry people that are that person that's rude with so much anger in them. It was killing them, man. They didn't enjoy anything. They didn't enjoy the Super Bowl. They didn't enjoy the sunshine. They didn't enjoy the rain. They were so angry with life, they didn't enjoy anything. And when I lived with that person who feels like that, I saw that could be me if I'm not careful. They were mad at the world. They were mad at white people, black people, brown people, Spanish people. It was everybody's fault in life but their own. And they tried to live that way. And it was a very, very reckless way of life. It was like driving a car with no brakes on it. Down 15501. They constantly had conflict with everybody. And in a place like prison, which is highly dangerous, I've even seen it cost some people their lives. And I had to make a decision. I had to grow up real quick and make a decision about how I wanted my life to be. And sometimes the best decisions are not the popular decisions. They're not popular. Everybody's not going to celebrate, and they're going to think, man, why do that? It's easier to keep being the way everybody else is. That's easy to do. And for some reason, I didn't make those decisions. I made the decisions that I thought was going to make me a better person, because I thought that I was worth being a better person. I cared enough about myself to want to be a better person. I believed in myself enough, even though I was in that crazy environment with a lot of badness. I said, that's just not who I want to be. Even though I wasn't even raised that way, I still had the freedom to make the decision to do what I wanted to do with my life. And I decided not to become the person that the place will kind of push you to become. Never. I had opportunities to do a lot of things, to get in some gangs. You know, funny thing about prison is, the more time you do, the more props you get, the more credibility you get. So when I crossed that 10-year threshold, guys that were gang leaders, they gave me a sense of respect because they found out how much time I had done. And when they looked at that, it was like, wow, you did 10 years in prison? So these gang leaders would come to me and instead of in my scenario, he's a gang leader, right? We reach for this car. It could be the remote for the TV. It could be a chair. It could be anything. Instead of him, right, thinking about his position as an OG in the gang, you know what he would say? He'd say, man, let me see that when you get done. And everybody saw that. And you know why he had so much respect for me? Because I had been in prison so long. And in his mind, if you can endure 10, he just started his time. He hasn't done 10 years. But in his mind, if I can endure 10 years of prison, he had to respect that. And he would come to me later and say, man, let me ask you a question, man. How'd you do it? I say, do what? He said, I got 50 years sentence, man. I got 50 years to do. I've been in prison 1 year. And I heard you've been in prison 10 years, man. How'd you do it? And I would tell him some things he might not want to hear. I would tell him things about, man, I got a relationship with God, man. I would tell him, man, you know, I pray at night. I would tell him, man, look, man, prison is a hard thing, man. You got to make some decisions as a man and grow up. Because guess what? Your gang, they're not going to be able to do your time for you and with you. You got to figure out how to deal with this the best way you can. And he would say, man, I would appreciate that. But guess what? He would only tell me that when he and I were one-on-one.
Yeah.
But when he got back with his gang, you already know how he acted. He acted like he was a tough guy all over again. And then later on, when nobody was around, he'd come to me and say, man, this time is killing me, man. I don't know how I'm going to do it, man. So when you're young, man, you got a lot of pressure to be a lot of things. They found me guilty of first-degree murder. And the judge gave me natural life in prison. And natural life means that as long as you're breathing, you stay in prison. You don't get out. You don't get out. You don't get out. I still had the freedom to make the decision to do what I wanted to do with my life. And I decided not to become the person that the place will kind of push you to become.